How to start copywriting as a complete beginner. These are my 10 tips that I really wish I knew when I first started out with the skill of copywriting. So this is what my success looks like so far. I get paid 250 USD every single week for 7 threads on the platform X. I'm a ghostwriter for a business owner. And again, I get paid 250 USD for the skill of copywriting. And I promise you, after watching this video, you will have the ability to also sign clients for the same amount, even if not more than what I'm currently getting paid for. Also, if you'd like to snoop around kind of how I get clients, what my profile looks like, I find a lot of clients on Upwork. Trey Alvarado is my profile name on Upwork. Snoop around, look at my profile, look at the testimonials. You can kind of see who I'm working with and kind of why my profile works. So first things first, what is copywriting? So in my own words, copywriting is written sales. What you're trying to do is persuade somebody, a viewer, a listener, a reader, to take an action on whatever product or service you're selling. So in the terms of copywriting and getting an understanding of how to copyright, you first have to educate yourself. What I did was I read the following books. Now, Take Their Money, Cash Advertising, the Boron Letters are my top 3 recommendations for any beginner copywriter. Honorable mention, Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards. Great, great books. If you don't really know where to start with copywriting, start here. Start with the books. Teach yourself, educate yourself as much as possible. Read even more. Make book summaries on those books because there's so many principles that remain true well past your first 10 clients. I mean, I promise you the biggest payoff is reading these books on the screen right now. The Boron Letters, this book right here, completely changed the way I approached work, my routine, my day-to-day life. It changed everything. So the Boron Letters is my personal favorite. But again, all of these books on this list are a must read. I highly recommend getting into them. And if you don't have the book or you don't want to purchase the book, go to this description, join the school community and go to the classroom tab. And there's a $1,500 resource here with book summaries on all of the following books in case you are looking for something like that. So that's the first thing. Educate yourself on copywriting. Learn what it is, learn routines, learn basic copywriting frameworks. All of these books talk about it. And again, these are the only 3 that you really need. The extra are just kind of a bonus if you'd like to really get a good understanding of copywriting. Tip number 2, learn the following frameworks. So I use these frameworks quite literally every single day. I write content over on my X account. You can see countless tweets. I think I have over 800 tweets. I have over 114 reel posts over on my Instagram account. I have over 100 plus YouTube videos on this YouTube channel. Why and how do I structure all of those videos, all of those X posts? It is these copywriting frameworks right here. It's just a great way for any sort of beginner to kind of understand and visualize what kind of copywriting patterns and frameworks can really benefit you to help sell and persuade someone reading your piece of copy. I personally use framework 2, 3, and 4 the most. My favorite personally is PAS, Problem, Agitate, Solution. I have tons of examples on my YouTube channel, which I'll link in the description, breaking these down on how my Instagram reels and how my Twitter posts like fall into those frameworks. But I promise you, study these. Again, all of these books reference all of these frameworks. This will change the game once you understand this. At some point, once you get more comfortable with these frameworks, I wish I knew this sooner, I kind of realized you don't have to follow a framework for every reel, YouTube post, X post. You can kind of begin to craft your own and you can kind of mix and match different frameworks with one another. The most important part is just understanding what these frameworks stand for and how to write in them. Because if you're a copywriter, if you're working with clients, clients will ask you, can you write in this framework? Can you write in this format from time to time, depending on the kind of client? It also helps having that terminology kind of in your vocabulary so you can communicate with a prospect and then ultimately leading to a closed sales call. Knowing these frameworks is super, super beneficial for you. You don't have to know them. Of course, you can use something like ChatGPT to kind of give you different copywriting frameworks, but even ChatGPT will push you towards these frameworks right here. Again, I have tons and tons of information on my YouTube channel, over on my Twitter account specifically, breaking these frameworks down much further. So I'd go check those out. Again, I'll leave links in the description. Educate, educate, educate. These frameworks are super, super important. Next up, step 3 or tip 3 is your routine. So you do not get any better if you don't practice. And one thing that the book Boron Letters talks heavily about, the author Gary, he wants you to have a routine where you write copy, you read copy, and then you read copy out loud to yourself every single day for between 30 minutes to 60 minutes. If you do your reps, if you put in 1 to 3 hours of work writing copy, and then reading copy out loud, in just 30 days, you will be at a completely different place and you will have such a good understanding of how to write copy and what good copywriting really looks like. The more you educate yourself on these copywriting books, the better of an understanding you'll have on how to write copy yourself for e-commerce brands, for content creators, whatever kind of copy you're going to write for people. If you understand and you put the reps in and have a good routine, it will make this whole process a lot smoother. I didn't practice enough. I kind of just went right into trying to sign clients and outreaching, but I should have practiced before and then did the outreach. And you can kind of combine the two. Practice copy for content creators or for different clients, send it to them for free, and that can count as your both outreach and your practice for your routine, right? This is what my routine looks like. I'll zoom in real quick. But again, if you want my routine as well, there's another one over here that I commonly use. So hopefully that helps a bit. Next, be yourself. I cannot stress this enough. I see so many copywriters talking in terms of what they think the audience will like to hear. And while there's a time and place for that, if you're writing content for your own, for yourself, for your personal brand, it's important to speak in terms of who you are as a person. Don't try to act like someone you are not. Use the language that is seen in your niche time and time again, absolutely, but also avoid using that kind of corporate speech because people are tired of that. People have seen that for years and years and years. Be unique, be yourself. That is how you're going to stand out in a market. And if you are a brand, also find your own voice with your copy. There's a ton of great examples of different businesses, which again, if you want like a swipe file of what good copy looks like, check the school. But there are so many brands out there that have a unique writing style. Some brands use lowercase in all their writing. You want to stand out and be different and stand out from the crowd. So being yourself is the best way to do so. Next up, focus on the headline. This goes for content as well. I spend 85, I know it says 80% here, but I honestly spend 85, 90% of my time on the first 5 to 10 seconds of all of my content, my emails, my YouTube videos, you name it. Spend the majority of your time on the hook, on the introduction, on the headline. That is what's going to get people engaged and then stick around. You just have to deliver whatever value you started the video with, right? Tip number 6, this is probably one of my personal favorites and one that I really struggled with, but it's to speak to them internally. Speak to their fears, their desires, their frustrations. The more you understand your audience, your avatar, your Alex, as some of the copywriting books reference or call it, the better and more money you're going to make and the better you're going to be able to reach out to people and actually touch them, right? If you can't be unique and be personal, you are going to struggle as a copywriter. I kind of felt when I first started that I was writing copy for myself, and that is the last thing that you want to do. You want to write copy for the listener, for the viewer, for the reader. Speak to their fears, desires, and pain points. And the better of a job you can do at that, the more sales you will get, the more effective of a copywriter you will become. That is something that I can guarantee. Again, articulate their problems better than they can, and they're going to assume that you have the solution for them. That is the most true copywriting term quote that I've ever heard. Just be sure to speak to them as a person and really understand what kind of person you're writing about or writing to. When I first started copywriting, I spent a whole ton of time just using the word I And that is the last thing you want to do. You want to include your viewer, listener, reader, whoever it is, within the conversation. You want them to kind of feel included. So using words like we, you, together, those are the most important words to use because it, again, makes them feel connected to what they're reading or listening to, whatever it may be. People only care about how you can help them. That is something that is very, very true. Honestly, people don't really care about you. And that's something I kind of realized as a copywriter. They just want to solve their own problems. And again, stop using the word I is a great fix to that. Next up is tip number 8. Read it out loud. If that copy sounds awkward or unnatural, rewrite it. Good copy has a certain kind of flow. If you read and practice copywriting a whole ton, you're going to start to notice patterns. You're going to notice a certain type of flow that a lot of these top copywriters have. And again, the more you read it, the more secondhand it comes. And it eventually at some point will just become, how you write. You're going to be a full-time copywriter in no time if you just practice, and listen and read good copy day in and day out. It will happen. You will notice those patterns. Again, it probably takes you around 30 to 90 days to figure it out. But I promise you, once you do figure it out and you're reading it out loud day to day, your own copy will make sense. Reading really effective copywriters will make sense. That is something I can guarantee. Tip number 9 is to write visually. Use vivid descriptions, metaphors, and storytelling to paint a picture in the reader's mind. They should be able to read whatever piece of copy you're writing and then internalize some sort of imagery or vivid picture in their mind of what you're writing about. For example, I was working with an e-commerce brand and this was one of their emails. Ditch the boring bars. Your skin deserves better. Thick, creamy lather that hugs your skin, infused with nature's finest pure oils, rich butters, and botanical extracts. Scent so good, they turn every shower into an experience. This isn't just soap, it's self-care in a bar. Lather up, glow up, smell unforgettable. As you can see, when you read that, you can visualize what they are saying. And honestly, as a copywriter, that's what your job consists of. It is just a lot of writing and a lot of writing visually, depending on the brand you're working with. Again, every single audience is going to be unique and different. But for this e-commerce store that was a soap company, they wanted short, quick, and punchy that was very visual. So using frameworks like this wouldn't really help a ton. But reading these books and the kind of headlines they use and sort of the different copywriting methods they've used helped me write that. And I see it time and time again. Studying other e-commerce brands helped me write this. Thinking of how I take a shower and use soap. These kinds of things really, really help you write visually and just write much quicker and bang out 10, 15 pieces of copy every single day as opposed to a beginner who has to look back, find references. You can kind of it comes second nature. That's why copywriters get paid so much, is just because they're able to write vividly, use metaphors and storytell to really paint a picture of whatever product or service that person is selling. Number 10, test, measure, and improve. The best copywriters are always testing different pieces of copy, different versions to see what converts best. Data beats someone's opinion. I can't tell you how true this is. Over on X, you can see views, you can see how well your posts are performing, which is why I recommend so many beginner copywriters start on this platform. Start on X because it is a written-based platform. And if you understand how to capture attention and grow a following on here, the other different platforms will be a piece of cake. So again, we were talking about data. If you head to premium and you go to analytics over on Twitter, you can see how many impressions, the engagement rate. You can see how your content's performing, right? Impressions, etc., likes, etc. The better your posts perform, that means your copy is good. It's getting better. If you see someone's account with a certain set amount of followers and they're getting under the amount of views as they have as followers, that may be a problem. That may mean that their copy isn't that good. Metrics is by far one of the most important pieces to take in account as a copywriter. The more you experiment, the more you test, the better you will get and the quicker you'll recognize patterns. That is something I can absolutely guarantee. The platform X or Instagram or YouTube is a great way to practice. So I know this video was 10 tips, but I'm gonna give you one more, and that is the so what test. After every sentence, ask yourself, so what? If the answer is not compelling, rewrite it. I'm just gonna leave that there because that's super important. Do that test after every sentence you write. You'll start to find ways to improve it. You're gonna find ways to make it much, much better. The so what test, I use it all the time, even on my tweets, on my Instagram posts. So what? It's super, super important. I've made multiple other videos on how to educate yourself on copywriting. You're doing it now, you're watching this video, and if you wanna become really an effective copywriter, I highly recommend go into this description and look at the video I just recently posted about how I made 4.4K copywriting on the platform X. It may change your life. I talk a lot about what I just highlighted throughout this document, so I hope this video has helped somebody. If it has, again, check out the links in the description, join a community, find some people to network with, because again, it may really change your life. I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.